Aging is a journey often marked by newfound wisdom, self reflection, and the opportunity to embrace life with clarity. However, it also brings challenges, especially in managing relationships, societal expectations, and personal well being. This video explores how cultivating a sense of coldness or detachment can serve as a shield to protect your mental, emotional, and physical health. But what does this mean? Is it about being unkind or indifferent? Absolutely not. Instead, it's about setting healthy boundaries and prioritizing your peace. In today's video, we'll break down key scenarios where adopting this mindset can help you thrive. We'll also include inspiring anecdotes and practical advice to bring these ideas to life. By the end, you'll not only understand the power of boundaries, but also feel empowered to embrace them. Number one, the power of staying calm in emergencies. Emergencies test our ability to stay composed and act wisely under pressure. In such moments, staying calm can mean the difference between a quick resolution and a worsened situation. It is a skill that benefits people of all ages, but it becomes especially crucial as we grow older. Many older adults feel pressured to keep up with younger generations, often leading to hurried actions that increase risks. This tendency to rush can overshadow the wisdom and experience they bring to the table, which are invaluable in emergencies. Imagine this scenario. Mr. Johnson, a 75-year-old grandfather, locked himself out of his house with his grandson inside. The situation quickly escalated in his mind, and panic set in. He tried to force a spare key into the lock, but his shaking hands and hurried movements only made things worse. The key broke, leaving him feeling even more helpless. Had he paused, taken a deep breath, and considered his options, he might have chosen to call a locksmith immediately. This approach would have saved him time, stress, and the cost of replacing the lock. This story serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of staying calm in emergencies. When we panic, our ability to think clearly diminishes. We may overlook simple solutions or make decisions that exacerbate the problem. On the other hand, a calm and measured approach allows us to assess the situation, weigh our options, and take effective action. The concept of coldness in emergencies, pausing to think before acting, is not about being emotionally detached. Instead, it is about managing our emotions and using them constructively. This mental clarity can prevent unnecessary mistakes and ensure the safety of everyone involved. It also sets an example for others, especially younger generations, who often look to older family members for guidance in crises. Why do people panic in emergencies? At its core, panic is a natural response to perceived danger. It triggers the fight or flight mechanism, preparing our bodies to react quickly. While this response can be helpful in certain situations, such as escaping a fire, it can hinder our ability to think rationally in less immediate threats. For example, locking yourself out of your house does not pose an immediate physical danger, but the emotional stress can make it feel like a critical emergency. Recognizing the difference between true emergencies and stressful situations is the first step towards staying calm. Practicing calmness is a skill that can be developed over time. One effective method is deep breathing. When you find yourself in a stressful situation, take a moment to breathe deeply. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4. Hold the breath for a count of 4, and then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 4. Repeat this process several times. This simple technique can lower your heart rate, reduce stress, and give you the mental space to think clearly. Mindfulness techniques are another valuable tool. Mindfulness involves focusing on the present moment without judgment. In an emergency, this means setting aside what-if scenarios and concentrating on what needs to be done. For example, if you are locked out of your house, instead of worrying about what might happen, focus on the immediate steps, calling a locksmith, checking for other entry points, or seeking help from a neighbor. Mindfulness keeps your thoughts grounded and prevents them from spiraling out of control. Preparation is another key to staying calm. Anticipating potential emergencies and having a plan in place can reduce the likelihood of panic. For instance, keeping a spare key with a trusted neighbor or investing in a secure lockbox can prevent situations like Mr. Johnson's. Similarly, familiarizing yourself with basic first aid or emergency procedures can boost your confidence and ability to handle unexpected events. In addition to these strategies, maintaining physical and mental health can improve your ability to stay calm under pressure. Regular exercise, a balanced diet, and adequate sleep strengthen your body and mind, making you more resilient to stress. Engaging in activities that promote mental well being, such as meditation, yoga, or even hobbies like gardening, can also help you stay composed in challenging situations. It is important to remember that staying calm does not mean suppressing your emotions. Fear, frustration, and even anger are natural reactions to emergencies. The goal is not to eliminate these feelings, but to manage them effectively. Acknowledging your emotions and then shifting your focus to actionable steps can help you regain control of the situation. Another aspect of staying calm in emergencies is effective communication. Clear and concise communication can prevent misunderstandings and ensure that everyone involved is on the same page. For example, if you are in a car accident, calmly exchanging information with the other driver and contacting the authorities will lead to a quicker resolution than yelling or blaming. Practicing good communication skills in everyday situations can prepare you to use them effectively in emergencies. Stories like Mr. Johnson's illustrate how a calm approach can prevent unnecessary stress and complications. They also remind us that emergencies, while daunting, are opportunities to demonstrate resilience and resourcefulness. By staying calm, we can turn a potentially chaotic situation into a manageable one. In conclusion, staying calm in emergencies is not just a practical skill. It is a form of self-care and a way to protect those around us. It requires practice, preparation, and a commitment to managing our emotions. Whether it is through deep breathing, mindfulness, preparation, or effective communication, we can all develop the ability to stay composed under pressure. The next time you face an emergency, remember Mr. Johnson's story and take a moment to pause, breathe, and think. This simple act can make all the difference. Number 2, dealing with toxic people. As we navigate through life, we encounter a variety of people who shape our experiences. Some bring joy and inspiration, while others may drain our energy and foster negativity. Recognizing and managing toxic relationships is essential for maintaining our emotional and mental well-being. This process is not always easy, but it is a necessary step toward personal growth and peace. Toxic people often exhibit certain traits that can negatively impact our lives. These traits include manipulation, constant criticism, gossiping, lack of empathy, or a tendency to play the victim. Recognizing these behaviors is the first step to protecting yourself. It's important to note that identifying someone as toxic doesn't mean they are inherently bad. Rather, their actions or attitudes may be incompatible with your emotional needs. Toxic relationships can have a profound effect on your mental health. They can lead to feelings of anxiety, self-doubt, and even depression. For example, spending time with someone who constantly belittles your achievements or dismisses your feelings can erode your self-esteem over time. This emotional toll can also manifest physically, with stress-related symptoms such as headaches, fatigue, or trouble sleeping. One of the most effective ways to deal with toxic people is by setting clear boundaries. Boundaries are essential for maintaining your sense of self and protecting your energy. When you establish limits on what you will and won't tolerate, you're taking a stand for your well-being. For instance, if you have a colleague who always unloads their problems onto you without reciprocating support, you might say, "I understand you're going through a tough time, but I'm not in a position to help right now." This kind yet firm approach allows you to assert your boundaries without escalating conflict. In some cases, reducing contact with toxic individuals is necessary. This doesn't mean you need to sever ties completely, especially if the person is a family member or a close friend. Instead, you can limit interactions to situations where their behavior is less likely to affect you. For example, keep conversations focused on neutral topics or meet in group settings where their influence is diluted. If you find it difficult to limit contact, remember that it's not selfish to prioritize your mental health. You are not obligated to maintain relationships that harm your well-being. Choosing to spend less time with someone who consistently drains your energy is an act of self-care, not selfishness. Emotional detachment is another valuable strategy. It involves distancing yourself from the emotional impact of toxic behavior. Instead of taking their words or actions personally, recognize that their negativity often stems from their own unresolved issues. This perspective can help you respond calmly and maintain your composure. For example, if someone criticizes you unfairly, instead of internalizing their words, remind yourself that their opinion does not define your worth. By practicing emotional detachment, you can avoid being drawn into unnecessary conflicts. Dealing with toxic people can be challenging, especially if they've been a part of your life for a long time. Seeking support from trusted friends, family, or a therapist can provide you with valuable insights and encouragement. Talking about your experiences can help you process your emotions and gain clarity on how to move forward. Additionally, connecting with uplifting and supportive individuals can reinforce the importance of surrounding yourself with positive influences. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, trust, and care, and these qualities should be at the forefront of your social circle. Consider this scenario. You reconnect with an old acquaintance known for gossiping. They start sharing unkind remarks about mutual friends. Instead of engaging, you politely excuse yourself or redirect the conversation to a more positive topic. By doing so, you avoid contributing to the negativity and set an example of respectful communication. This approach not only protects your peace, but also subtly communicates your values. Over time, toxic individuals may adjust their behavior around you or choose to distance themselves naturally. In my own journey, I've had to let go of relationships that no longer served me. This decision was not about holding grudges or assigning blame. It was about recognizing my own needs and prioritizing my happiness. Letting go brought immense peace and allowed me to focus on building meaningful connections with people who uplift and inspire me. One particular experience stands out. A longtime friend had a habit of criticizing my decisions and belittling my achievements. Their comments left me feeling drained and undervalued. After several heartfelt conversations that failed to bring about change, I made the difficult choice to step back from the friendship. Though it was painful initially, it opened the door to healthier relationships and a renewed sense of self-worth. To identify and address toxic relationships, consider the following steps. 1. Create a mental checklist. Reflect on the qualities you value in friendships, such as honesty, support, and positivity. Assess whether a particular relationship aligns with these values. 2. Communicate openly. If someone's behavior is troubling you, express your concerns respectfully. Sometimes people are unaware of how their actions affect others. 3. Set boundaries. Clearly define what behavior you will and won't accept. Be consistent in enforcing these boundaries. 4. Limit interactions. Reduce contact with individuals who consistently drain your energy. Prioritize spending time with people who uplift and inspire you. 5. Seek support. Lean on trusted friends, family, or professionals for guidance and encouragement. Their perspective can help you navigate difficult situations. Dealing with toxic people is an inevitable part of life, but it doesn't have to define your journey. By recognizing toxic behavior, setting boundaries, and prioritizing your well-being, you can create space for positivity and growth. Remember, letting go of relationships that no longer serve you is not a sign of weakness, but a testament to your self-respect and resilience. Choose to surround yourself with people who bring out the best in you, and you'll find your path to a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Number 3, selective social commitments. Retirement is often heralded as a time of newfound freedom, a chance to relax, explore hobbies, and reconnect with loved ones. However, it can also come with unexpected pressures, particularly in the realm of social commitments. With more free time, retirees may feel obligated to participate in a whirlwind of reunions, community events, and family gatherings. While some of these engagements can be deeply fulfilling, others may leave individuals feeling drained, overwhelmed, or even resentful. This is where the concept of selective social commitments becomes essential. One poignant example is the story of a retired teacher named Linda. In the early days of her retirement, Linda found herself inundated with invitations to various events. Former colleagues frequently invited her to reunions, neighbors urged her to join local clubs, and her extended family began expecting her presence at every gathering. Initially, Linda embraced these opportunities with enthusiasm, believing it was her duty to maintain connections and show support. She attended countless reunions, reliving old memories and engaging in small talk. However, over time, Linda began to notice a pattern. Many of these events left her feeling emotionally depleted rather than fulfilled. The conversations often revolved around surface level topics, and she found herself yearning for deeper connections and meaningful interactions. One day, after yet another exhausting reunion, Linda decided to take a step back and reevaluate her social calendar. She realized that her energy and time were finite resources and that she needed to allocate them more intentionally. Linda asked herself a crucial question: will this event nourish my soul or deplete it? With this newfound clarity, she began to make changes. Instead of saying yes to every invitation out of obligation, Linda started prioritizing activities that genuinely brought her joy and fulfillment. She rediscovered her love for gardening, spending hours tending to her flowers and vegetables. She joined a book club that sparked engaging discussions and introduced her to like minded individuals. These activities not only energized her, but also aligned with her personal interests and values. The lesson from Linda's story is both simple and profound. It's okay to be cold or selective when it comes to social obligations. This doesn't mean shutting people out or becoming reclusive. Rather, it's about making intentional choices that preserve your energy for what truly matters. In retirement, as in any stage of life, your time is precious. By focusing on meaningful pursuits and relationships, you can cultivate a sense of purpose and satisfaction. Selective social commitments also serve as a form of self-care. Many retirees fall into the trap of people pleasing, agreeing to attend events out of fear of offending others, or are being perceived as antisocial. However, constantly prioritizing others' expectations over your own needs can lead to burnout and a diminished quality of life. It's important to remember that self-care isn't selfish. It's a necessary practice that allows you to show up as your best self for the people and activities you truly care about. To implement selective social commitments in your own life, consider these practical tips. 1. Reflect on your values and priorities. Take some time to identify what truly matters to you. Is it spending quality time with close family members? Pursuing a creative hobby? Volunteering for a cause you're passionate about? By clarifying your values, you can use them as a compass to guide your decisions. 2. Set boundaries. Politely but firmly communicate your limits to others. For example, if a friend invites you to an event that doesn't align with your interests, you can respond with gratitude and a polite decline, such as, "Thank you for thinking of me, but I'll have to pass this time." Setting boundaries helps you protect your energy and focus on what truly matters. 3. Evaluate each invitation. Before committing to an event, ask yourself questions like, will this bring me joy? Does it align with my values? Will I feel energized or drained afterward? Use these reflections to make intentional decisions. 4. Embrace the power of no. Saying no can be challenging, especially if you're used to being accommodating. However, learning to decline invitations gracefully is a powerful skill that allows you to reclaim your time and energy. Remember, every no to an unnecessary obligation is a yes to something more meaningful. 5. Schedule time for yourself. Treat self-care and personal interests as non-negotiable appointments in your calendar. Whether it's reading a book, going for a walk, or simply enjoying quiet time, these moments of solitude are essential for recharging. 6. Surround yourself with like-minded people. Seek out communities and groups that share your interests and values. Meaningful relationships often thrive in spaces where individuals feel a genuine connection and mutual respect. 7. Reassess regularly. Your priorities and energy levels may change over time. Periodically review your commitments and make adjustments as needed. Flexibility is key to maintaining balance and well-being. In the grand tapestry of life, retirement represents a unique chapter, one where you have the freedom to write your own narrative. By embracing selective social commitments, you can ensure that this chapter is filled with joy, purpose, and meaningful connections. Like Linda, you can create a life that nourishes your soul and allows you to thrive, not just survive in your golden years. Number 4, navigating family dynamics. Family relationships are some of the most complex and rewarding connections we experience. They are often characterized by love, care, and shared memories, but they can also be sources of tension and misunderstanding. Navigating these dynamics, especially as roles shift over time, requires patience, empathy, and a willingness to grow alongside your loved ones. For adult children and their parents, these shifts can be particularly challenging as both parties learn to respect boundaries, adjust expectations, and find new ways to communicate. One common difficulty arises when parents offer unsolicited advice to their adult children. While well intentioned, this habit can create friction, as it may come across as criticism or a lack of trust in their ability to manage their own lives. Adult children, on the other hand, may struggle to accept that their parents' guidance, though valuable, is no longer a necessary component of their decision making process. The balance between being supportive and overstepping boundaries can be delicate, but it is achievable. A story that illustrates this balance involves a grandmother named Helen and her daughter, Sarah. Helen, a seasoned parent herself, had strong opinions about how Sarah was raising her two young children. Initially, Helen found it difficult to hold back from commenting on Sarah's parenting choices, especially when they differed from her own. She wanted to share her wisdom, believing it would make Sarah's life easier. However, Helen quickly noticed that her unsolicited advice often led to tension and defensiveness. Instead of continuing to push her perspective, Helen decided to take a step back. She made a conscious effort to respect Sarah's autonomy as a parent. When Sarah sought her advice, Helen offered it with care and without judgment. This shift in approach significantly improved their relationship. By waiting for Sarah to ask for guidance, Helen demonstrated respect for her daughter's ability to navigate parenthood. In turn, Sarah felt more comfortable seeking her mother's support when she truly needed it, knowing it would be offered with love rather than criticism. This story underscores an important concept. Detachment doesn't mean indifference. Rather, it involves recognizing and respecting the boundaries that allow relationships to thrive. Detachment is about letting go of the need to control or influence the actions of others while maintaining a supportive presence. It's a skill that requires mindfulness and self awareness, as well as an understanding that every individual, even within a family, has the right to chart their own course. For parents of adult children, practicing detachment can be liberating. It shifts the focus from trying to steer their children's lives to fostering a relationship built on mutual respect and trust. It also allows parents to preserve their own peace of mind as they learn to release the anxiety and frustration that often accompany unmet expectations. One actionable step in navigating family dynamics is practicing active listening. This means giving your full attention to the speaker, acknowledging their feelings, and refraining from jumping in with solutions unless asked. Active listening fosters open communication and creates a safe space for family members to share their thoughts and experiences. For example, if an adult child expresses frustration about a challenging situation, a parent might be tempted to immediately offer advice or suggest a solution. However, a more effective response might be to simply acknowledge their feelings by saying, "That sounds really difficult. How are you handling it?" This approach validates their emotions and encourages them to share more, strengthening the bond between parent and child. Improving family dynamics often requires intentional effort and a willingness to adapt. Here are some additional strategies to consider. 1. Set clear boundaries. Openly discuss and agree on boundaries that respect each family member's autonomy. For instance, parents can ask their adult children how they prefer to receive support or advice. 2. Focus on empathy. Try to see situations from the other person's perspective. Empathy helps bridge generational gaps and fosters understanding. 3. Celebrate independence. Recognize and appreciate the growth and independence of your adult children. Celebrate their achievements and trust their ability to navigate challenges. 4. Model healthy behavior. Demonstrate the qualities you want to see in your relationships, such as patience, kindness, and resilience. 5. Seek external support. If family dynamics become particularly strained, consider seeking guidance from a counselor or therapist who specializes in family relationships. Navigating family dynamics is an ongoing process that requires effort and understanding from all parties involved. As roles shift and relationships evolve, it's essential to approach these changes with an open mind and a commitment to mutual respect. By practicing active listening, Embracing detachment and focusing on empathy, families can build stronger, healthier connections that stand the test of time. The story of Helen and Sarah serves as a reminder that patience and respect can transform even the most challenging dynamics into opportunities for growth and deeper connection. Number 5, financial boundaries. Discussing finances can often feel like navigating a minefield. Money, while a practical and necessary part of life, is deeply personal and can evoke strong emotions, including curiosity, envy, or judgment. Setting clear financial boundaries is essential to maintaining your privacy, emotional well being, and financial security. Whether you're faced with nosy questions, unsolicited advice, or societal pressure to disclose, learning to establish and enforce these boundaries is a valuable skill that benefits both personal and professional relationships. Consider this scenario. You're at a family gathering, and a well meaning relative asks you about your salary, pension, or savings. While their curiosity might stem from genuine concern or interest, it can feel invasive. One woman shared her experience of being asked about her pension. Her response, "I'm comfortable," was succinct yet effective in deflecting further probing. This approach is a perfect example of setting a boundary without causing offense. It communicates that you've heard the question, but prefer not to discuss the topic in detail. Why are financial boundaries so important? For one, sharing too much about your financial situation can open the door to judgment or manipulation. For example, revealing a recent bonus or windfall might lead to expectations of generosity or pressure to lend money. Conversely, sharing financial struggles might invite unsolicited advice, criticism, or even pity. By keeping financial details private, you retain control over how others perceive and interact with you. Privacy is a form of self-protection, safeguarding your autonomy and mental health. Additionally, societal norms and cultural factors often complicate financial conversations. In some cultures, discussing money is considered taboo, while in others, openness about finances is encouraged. Navigating these differing expectations requires tact and self-awareness. Establishing financial boundaries isn't about shutting down conversations entirely. It's about managing them in a way that aligns with your comfort level and values. So, how can you establish and maintain financial boundaries effectively? Here are some practical strategies. 1. Develop polite, vague responses. When faced with intrusive questions, having a repertoire of polite but vague responses can be invaluable. Phrases like, "I'm comfortable," "it's taken care of," or "I prefer to keep that private," can redirect the conversation without offending the other person. The key is to remain calm and confident, signaling that your boundaries are firm but respectful. 2. Set expectations early. If you anticipate that a particular setting or individual might lead to uncomfortable financial discussions, address it proactively. For instance, if a friend often brings up money matters, you might say, "I'd rather not talk about finances. Let's focus on other things." Setting expectations early can help prevent boundary violations. 3. Recognize manipulative behaviors. Unfortunately, some people use financial conversations as a means of control or manipulation. This might include guilt-tripping you into lending money, pressuring you to justify your spending, or comparing your financial choices to their own. Recognizing these behaviors is the first step in protecting yourself. Respond with firm but neutral statements like, "I'm not comfortable discussing that," or "That's a personal matter." 4. Practice assertiveness. Establishing boundaries requires a degree of assertiveness, particularly when faced with persistent questioning. While it's natural to want to avoid conflict, being assertive is not the same as being rude. It's about clearly communicating your limits. For example, if someone keeps pressing you about your salary, you can say, "I understand your curiosity, but I prefer to keep my finances private." 5. Be mindful of social media sharing. In today's digital age, it's easy to overshare financial details online, whether it's posting about a new job, a big purchase, or travel plans. While sharing milestones can feel rewarding, it's worth considering the potential consequences. Oversharing on social media can invite envy, judgment, or even scams. Striking a balance between celebrating achievements and maintaining privacy is crucial. 6. Understand your own boundaries. Before you can communicate financial boundaries to others, it's important to understand them yourself. Reflect on what makes you uncomfortable and why. Are you uneasy discussing debts, investments, or salary details? Knowing your triggers helps you respond more effectively when the topic arises. 7. Seek support when needed. If you're struggling to set financial boundaries with someone close to you, consider seeking support from a trusted friend, counselor, or financial advisor. They can provide guidance, role play conversations, or offer an objective perspective. 8. Reframe your perspective. Sometimes boundary violations stem from the other person's lack of awareness rather than malice. By reframing your perspective, you can approach these situations with empathy. For instance, an older relative might ask about your finances because they're concerned about your well being, not because they're being intrusive. Responding with kindness can help preserve the relationship while still enforcing your boundary. Establishing financial boundaries is not just about protecting your privacy, it's about fostering healthier relationships and interactions. When you set clear limits, you're not only prioritizing your own needs, but also creating a framework for respectful communication. Over time, these boundaries can lead to greater confidence, independence, and peace of mind. In conclusion, while financial conversations can be challenging, they don't have to be fraught with discomfort or conflict. By developing polite, vague responses, setting expectations early, recognizing manipulative behaviors, and practicing assertiveness, you can navigate these discussions with grace and confidence. Remember, your financial information is yours to share or withhold as you see fit. Protecting your privacy is not only a right, but also an essential part of self-care and personal empowerment. Number 6, technology and social media. The digital revolution has undeniably transformed the way we connect, communicate, and consume information. Social media, in particular, has become a powerful force in shaping societal norms and individual behavior. While it offers a platform for connection, self-expression, and access to a vast array of knowledge, it can also be overwhelming, especially for older adults who may feel pressured to stay constantly available online. One of the most significant benefits of social media is its ability to bridge geographical gaps, enabling people to stay in touch with family and friends no matter where they are in the world. For instance, grandparents can watch their grandchildren grow up through photos and videos shared online. Similarly, old friends can reconnect after years apart, and individuals can join communities of like-minded people to share experiences, support, and knowledge. These connections can bring immense joy and a sense of belonging. However, the relentless nature of social media can also lead to burnout. The constant notifications, the pressure to respond immediately, and the never-ending stream of information can feel overwhelming. Many older adults in particular struggle to keep up with the rapid pace of technological advancement. They may feel left out or stressed by the expectation to adapt to new platforms and trends. This pressure can sometimes diminish the joy that technology is meant to bring. Consider the example of a retired engineer named David. Initially, David embraced social media enthusiastically, joining multiple platforms to stay connected with his family and former colleagues. However, he soon found himself spending hours each day scrolling through his feeds, often at the expense of his hobbies and in-person interactions. Recognizing the imbalance, David decided to set a firm boundary. He would check social media only once a week. This decision allowed him to reclaim his time and focus on activities he truly enjoyed, such as woodworking and gardening. Moreover, it enriched his face-to-face relationships as he felt more present and engaged during conversations. David's experience highlights an essential lesson. Moderation is key to enjoying the benefits of technology without becoming its prisoner. By setting clear boundaries, we can ensure that technology serves us rather than the other way around. For those feeling overwhelmed by the demands of social media, there are practical steps to take. 1. Set screen time limits. Allocate specific times of the day for checking social media and stick to them. For example, you might decide to browse your favorite platforms only in the evening or during lunch breaks. 2. Turn off notifications. Constant notifications can create a sense of urgency that interrupts your focus and increases stress. Disabling these alerts can help you regain control over your attention. 3. Curate your feed. Follow accounts that bring value, inspiration, or joy, and unfollow those that contribute to negativity or stress. A more positive and tailored feed can make your social media experience more enjoyable. 4. Practice digital detoxes. Periodically take a break from social media to recharge and reconnect with the offline world. This could be a weekend, a week, or even just a day free from screens. 5. Engage in offline activities. Rediscover hobbies, spend time outdoors, or connect with friends and family in person. These activities can provide a sense of fulfillment that screens cannot replicate. Or 6. Use technology mindfully. Approach social media with intention rather than habit. Before opening an app, ask yourself why you are doing so and what you hope to achieve. Social media also plays a significant role in shaping how we perceive ourselves and others. The curated nature of online content can create unrealistic expectations and foster feelings of inadequacy. People often compare their lives to the highlight reels of others, leading to dissatisfaction and low self-esteem. Older adults, too, can fall into this trap, feeling that they must present a polished image online to keep up with younger generations. To counteract this, it is important to practice self-compassion and remember that social media rarely reflects the full reality of anyone's life. Embrace authenticity and resist the urge to compare yourself to others. Share your experiences honestly and celebrate your unique journey. Another challenge posed by technology and social media is the risk of misinformation and online scams, which disproportionately affect older adults. Being vigilant and verifying the credibility of sources is crucial in navigating the digital world safely. Seek out reliable news outlets, fact-check information, and be cautious about sharing personal details online. Despite its challenges, social media can be a force for good when used intentionally. It can empower individuals to stay informed, connect with others, and even make a positive impact on their communities. For instance, older adults can use social media to advocate for causes they care about, mentor younger generations, or share their wisdom and experiences. Ultimately, technology and social media are tools, powerful ones that can enhance our lives when used wisely. By setting boundaries, practicing mindfulness, and prioritizing meaningful connections, we can harness the benefits of these platforms without falling victim to their pitfalls. The key lies in finding a balance that aligns with our values and enhances our overall well-being. In conclusion, while the digital world offers unparalleled opportunities for connection and growth, it also requires us to navigate its complexities thoughtfully. By taking deliberate steps to manage our relationship with technology, we can enjoy its advantages without becoming overwhelmed. Whether it's through setting screen time limits, curating a positive feed, or embracing offline activities, small changes can make a big difference. Just like David, we can all find ways to use technology as a tool for enrichment rather than a source of stress, ensuring that it adds value to our lives rather than detracts from it. Number 7, prioritizing your health and well-being. Taking care of your health and well-being should always be a top priority. While many of us are taught to be selfless and to put others' needs before our own, overextending ourselves physically and emotionally can lead to serious health consequences. Simple tasks that seem harmless, like heavy lifting, constant babysitting, or even overcommitting to social obligations, can pile up and take a toll on our bodies and minds. Learning to set boundaries and prioritize your health is not selfish. It is an essential act of self-preservation. One crucial step in maintaining your well-being is to recognize your limits. It's easy to underestimate the strain certain tasks can place on your body, especially as you age or if you're dealing with any underlying health conditions. For instance, heavy lifting may seem like a manageable chore, but it poses risks such as back injuries, muscle strains, or even long-term damage to joints. Similarly, the mental and physical demands of constant babysitting can leave you drained and stressed, especially if you're not getting enough rest or time for yourself. Ignoring these limits can result in burnout or injuries that could have been easily avoided with proper precautions. To illustrate this point, consider the story of a retiree named Linda. Linda's neighbor asked for help moving some heavy furniture. Although Linda wanted to help, she recognized that the task was beyond her physical capability and suggested hiring a professional moving service instead. This decision, while seemingly small, protected her from potential injury and underscored the importance of listening to her body. Linda's choice wasn't about shirking responsibility, it was about acknowledging her limitations and acting in her best interest. By saying no, she prioritized her health and ensured she could continue to be there for her family and friends in the long run. Saying no is not always easy, especially if you're someone who takes pride in being dependable or fears disappointing others. However, it's important to reframe this mindset. Declining a request isn't about being unkind or unhelpful. It's about valuing your own well being and recognizing that you can't pour from an empty cup. When you take care of yourself, you're in a better position to support others effectively and sustainably. So, how can you start prioritizing your health and well being in daily life? Here are some actionable steps to help you set boundaries and protect yourself from overextending. 1. Assess tasks realistically. Before agreeing to any request or commitment, take a moment to evaluate whether you have the physical and mental capacity to handle it. Ask yourself if the task aligns with your current energy levels, health, and schedule. If it feels overwhelming or potentially harmful, it's okay to decline or suggest an alternative solution. 2. Practice saying no. Start small by politely turning down minor requests that don't serve your priorities. For example, if a friend asks you to attend an event you're not interested in, simply thank them for the invitation and explain that you need to rest or focus on personal matters. The more you practice, the more comfortable you'll become with setting boundaries. 3. Delegate or outsource. Not every task has to be completed by you. Consider hiring professionals for physically demanding jobs or asking others for help when needed. Whether it's moving furniture, cleaning, or running errands, sharing the load can save you from unnecessary strain. 4. Schedule time for self-care. Prioritize activities that nourish your body and mind, such as exercise, meditation, or simply relaxing with a good book. Treat self-care as a non-negotiable part of your routine, just like any other important commitment. 5. Listen to your body. Pay attention to signals like fatigue, pain, or stress. These are your body's way of telling you to slow down or make adjustments. Ignoring these signs can lead to more serious health issues over time. 6. Communicate your needs. Be honest with those around you about your limitations and priorities. Clear communication helps manage expectations and reduces the likelihood of misunderstandings or resentment. 7. Reflect on your values. Remind yourself that taking care of your health isn't just about you. It's also about being able to show up fully for the people you care about. By prioritizing your well-being, you're setting an example of self-respect and responsible living. The journey to prioritizing your health and well-being is not about perfection. It's about progress. Each small step you take towards setting boundaries and listening to your body contributes to a healthier, happier you. Remember, self-care is not a luxury, it's a necessity. By putting your well-being first, you're not only enhancing the quality of your own life, but also ensuring you have the strength and energy to support others when it truly matters. In conclusion, learning to say no and recognizing your limits are vital components of a healthy lifestyle. Like Linda's story shows, choosing to prioritize your health can protect you from unnecessary harm and enable you to live a more balanced life. By assessing tasks realistically, practicing self-care, and communicating your needs, you'll be better equipped to navigate life's demands without compromising your well-being. So take a moment to pause, reflect, and commit to making your health and happiness a priority today. You deserve it. Number 8, the value of true friendship. In later years, quality matters more than quantity when it comes to friendships. While having many acquaintances might feel exciting in youth, as we age, we begin to understand the profound value of deep and genuine connections. True friendship becomes less about the number of people we know and more about the quality of the relationships we nurture. These connections become an anchor, providing us with stability, support, and understanding as life's complexities unfold. Consider the story of a widower who, after losing his spouse, decided to downsize his social circle to a few trusted friends. In his younger years, his life was bustling with a wide array of people. But as time went on, he realized that many of these relationships were superficial. They revolved around convenience, shared interests, or fleeting moments rather than genuine care and understanding. After his loss, he consciously chose to focus on those who truly mattered, the friends who listened without judgment, offered comfort without hesitation, and shared in his joys and sorrows. This shift brought deeper connections, less drama, and a sense of peace that he hadn't experienced before. This story illustrates an essential truth. Genuine friendships don't require constant performance. In a world that often pressures us to project an image of success or perfection, true friends provide a safe space to be authentic. They're the ones who see us at our lowest and still choose to stand by us. They celebrate our achievements without envy and offer a listening ear when life becomes overwhelming. In their presence, we feel understood and valued for who we truly are, not for what we can provide or how we appear. The value of true friendship lies in its ability to enrich our lives in countless ways. Emotionally, it provides a sense of belonging and acceptance. Physically, strong social bonds have been linked to improved health outcomes as lower stress levels, better heart health, and even increased longevity. Mentally, having trusted friends to confide in can help us navigate challenges, process emotions, and gain perspective. It's no wonder that people with deep, meaningful friendships often report higher levels of happiness and life satisfaction. However, cultivating these kinds of friendships requires effort and intentionality. In a fast paced world dominated by digital connections, it's easy to mistake online interactions for real relationships. While technology can help us stay in touch, it's the face to face moments, shared experiences, and heartfelt conversations that truly build bonds. To nurture genuine friendships, we must prioritize quality time, actively listen, and show up for the people we care about, especially during their times of need. Reflecting on our own friendships, it's worth asking, are our relationships aligned with our values? Do they bring us joy and fulfillment? True friendship isn't about proximity or convenience. It's about mutual respect, trust, and a shared commitment to supporting one another. By investing in relationships that align with our values, we create a network of support that sustains us through life's ups and downs. Sometimes this process involves making difficult decisions. It might mean stepping away from toxic or one-sided relationships that drain our energy and hinder our growth. While letting go can be painful, it's a necessary step toward creating space for healthier, more fulfilling connections. As the widower in the story discovered, a smaller circle of true friends is far more valuable than a large network of superficial acquaintances. It's also important to recognize that friendship is a two-way street. To cultivate and maintain deep connections, we must be willing to give as much as we receive. This means being there for our friends in their times of need, celebrating their successes, and offering forgiveness when mistakes are made. It's about showing empathy, expressing gratitude, and making an effort to stay connected, even when life gets busy. These small but meaningful actions can strengthen the bonds of friendship and ensure they stand the test of time. For those seeking to build deeper connections, here are a few tips. 1. Be present. Whether it's a phone call, a coffee date, or a casual walk, give your full attention to your friends. Put away distractions and focus on truly engaging with them. 2. Show vulnerability. Share your thoughts, feelings, and experiences openly. Authenticity fosters trust and encourages others to do the same. 3. Express gratitude. Let your friends know how much you appreciate them. A simple thank you or a heartfelt note can go a long way in strengthening your bond. Celebrate their joys. Be genuinely happy for your friends' successes. Celebrate their milestones and cheer them on as they pursue their goals. 5. Be reliable. Follow through on your promises and be there when it matters most. Consistency builds trust and shows that you value the relationship. In the end, the value of true friendship isn't measured by grand gestures or material offerings. It's found in the quiet moments of understanding, the shared laughter, and the unspoken bond that comes from knowing someone truly cares. By prioritizing quality over quantity, nurturing meaningful connections, and being a true friend ourselves, we can experience the profound joy and fulfillment that genuine friendships bring to our lives. In a world filled with noise and constant demands, the idea of coldness might seem harsh at first, but in reality, it's not about shutting people out. It's about creating the space necessary for peace, clarity, and fulfillment. A balanced coldness allows us to prioritize what truly matters while maintaining healthy relationships and inner harmony. At its core, this approach is rooted in mindfulness. It's about making intentional choices that align with your values and well being. By learning to set boundaries, you give yourself the gift of peace, protect your emotional energy, and create room to cultivate meaningful connections and experiences. Boundaries are not walls, but bridges to a healthier life. They allow you to preserve your energy, maintain your identity, and foster respect in relationships. By distancing yourself from toxicity and being selective about social commitments, you're choosing quality over quantity in your interactions. Respecting others' autonomy, especially family members, fosters healthier dynamics and avoids unnecessary friction. If these ideas resonate with you, take a moment to reflect on how you can bring a balanced coldness into your own life. Share this video with someone who might benefit from these insights and join us in fostering a community of mindful, peaceful living. Subscribe to Buddhist Mindfulness for more life-changing perspectives. And remember, aging with grace and wisdom is an art we can all master, one intentional step at a time.